Good morning, class 6. How are you guys doing? I hope you guys are doing great and wish you all a great happy puja in advance, Durga Puja. So, we are back to literature book and it's the literature reader. We are on page 80 with Pip and the convict. Pip is being gone to the jungle to meet his grave and to see his grave, his brothers and sisters and his parents, and he sees that there's a man there. He's run away from the jail. He's a convict, and he tells him to bring something to eat and a file to cut his locks, his chains. So I'll just go from the last part out there. It says, you get me a file and you get me victuals in something. You bring them both to me. All this time he was tilting Pip backwards till he was so dreadfully frightened and giddy that he clung to the man with both hands. He was feeling sick. You bring me tomorrow morning early that file and them victuals. And you do it, and you never dare to say a word or dare to make a sign concerning you have seen such a person as me, or any person, some ever, and you shall be let to live. Then he threatened all sorts of dreadful and terrible things to poor Pip. If he failed to do all he had commanded, and made him solemnly promise to bring him what he wanted, and to keep the secret, then he let him go, saying, "You remember what you have undertook, and you get home. Go." "Good night, sir," faltered Pip. "Much of that," said he, glancing over the cold, wet flat. I wish I was a frog or an eel." Pip ran home without stopping. Pip was scared. This man is threatening him. He said, if you tell anybody else or whatever is going to happen to me, and if you tell anyone that there's one man like this in the jungle and he's told me to bring food and this file to cut his chains and locks, you will be a dead person. You don't know what I'm going to do to you. He threatened him very badly. And Pip, he said, "Now get out from here. Go and come back in the early morning." And Pip is saying, "Good night, sir," faltered Pip. He was stuttering. He started stuttering. "Much of that," said he, glancing over the cold, wet flat. The cold ground, wet flat. "I wish I was a frog or an eel so that he could go more faster. Just swim and just run away from there." Pip ran home without stopping. He was scared. Fine. Poor Pip passed a wretched night, a difficult night he passed. Wretched night, very tough night he passed. Thinking of the dreadful promise he had made, and as soon it was beginning to get light outside, he got up and crept downstairs. Fancy that every board creaked out, "Stop, thief!" and "Get up, Mrs. Joe." Okay. See, thinking of the dreadful promise he made, and as soon as it was beginning to get light outside, the dawn, the morning type, he got up and crept downstairs, fancying that every board creaked out, "Stop, thief!" and "Get up, Mrs. Joe." Means stop thief means you are going down. There's a thief, and "Get up, Mrs. Joe" means his sister is going to get up, or his aunt or someone. That's his sister he is being taken care of by, right? By system Joe, right? So that sound cracking, there's a thief and Joe is going to get up and there's going to be hell. So he's quietly going down. As quickly as he could, he took some bread, some rind of cheese, slices of cheese, and about a jar of mince meat, keema, mince meat cooked, which he tied up in a handkerchief with a slice of bread and butter. Some brandy from a stone bottle. Brandy is the alcohol, but it comes in use as a medicine. When you're cold, you can drink that, you will feel warm. A meat bone with very little on it, and a pie Pie is a type of cake or chicken pie. You can make vegetable pies. It's baked in the oven, and a bone with very less little meat on it he took, and ran for the marshes, for the jungles inside, for the place where this man was. Marshes are small trees, bushes. He ran towards the bushes. Pip was soon at the place of meeting after that, and there was the man, hugging himself and limping to and fro, as if he had never all night left off hugging and limping. He was in tension, that man who's going to watch me, see me, he's walking around, limping around, jumping around. He was awfully cold, that's why he was moving around. To be sure, Pip half expected to see him drop down before his face and die of cold. His eyes looked so awfully hungry too, that when Pip handed him the file, it occurred to him he would have tried to eat it if he had not seen the bundle. He did not turn Pip upside down this time to get at what he had, but left him aside upward while he opened the bundle and emptied his pockets. "What is in the bottle, boy?" he said. "Brandy," said Pip. He was already handing mincemeat down his throat in the most curious manner, more like a man who was putting it away somewhere in a violent hurry than a man who was eating it. But he left off to take some of the liquor, shivering all the while so violently that it was quite much as he could to keep the neck of the bottle between his teeth. "I think you have got the chills," said Pip. "I am much of your opinion, boy," he said. "I am much of your opinion, boy," he said. He was gobbling meat bone, bread, cheese and pie at everything at once, staring distrustfully while he did so at the mist all around, and often stopping his jaws to listen. Some meal or fancied sound, some clink upon the river or breathing of beasts upon the marsh now gave him a start, and he said suddenly, "You are not a false imp. You brought one with you." "You brought no one with you." "No, sir, no." "Not told anybody to follow you?" "No." "Well," he said, "I believe you." Pitying his desolation and watching him as he gradually settled down upon the pie, Pip made bold to say, "I am glad you enjoyed it." "Did you speak?" "I said I was glad you enjoyed it." "Thankee, my boy, I do." Pip had often watched a large dog eating his food, and now he noticed a decided similarity between the dog's way of eating and the man's. The man took strong, sharp, sudden bites, just like the dog. He swallowed, or rather snapped up, every mouthful too soon and too fast. As he looked down sideways, here and there while he ate, as if he thought there was danger or somebody's coming to take the pie away. He was altogether too unsettled in his mind over to enjoy it comfortably, Pip thought, or to have anybody to dine with him without making a chop with his jaws at the visitor. In all of which particulars he was very like the dog. Pip watched him trying to file the iron off his leg, and then, being afraid of stopping longer away from home, he ran off. This is taken from the book Great Expectations. This is done. So what happens is, when a person is hungry and cold and in tension and in chains and in locks, and someone has run away, you are in great tension. Not eaten, suddenly you start gobbling. When you are very hungry, you start eating whatever is there, you feel it's good. Even the baddest taste things, you will feel good because you are hungry. And how does a dog eat? A dog doesn't choose anything. It goes pop, 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 pop. It goes on biting, chewing, swallows and finishes it off as fast as it can. So here he is trying to depict the difference between a man and a dog. They are just saying that when a man is in distress, in trouble, he acts like an animal. A human being can become an animal. But Pip, being a small boy, he knew everything what he could bring. And he was, while eating also, he's asking him, have you brought someone? Have you told someone? Have you done something? He's listening something. You're scared because you are a runaway prisoner. And Pip is also there trying to helping out, and he's saying, good, thank God you're eating it, you liked it. And I'm really happy that you like it. And I think you have caught a chill also, you're feeling cold and you're not right, you're not feeling well. He says, yes, you are absolutely right. and fifth thinks that okay, now this is the right time. If I don't close up the things, I'm away from home, that I might get caught again, so I should better run away. He can open his files, cut his files, then he can go. This is still here, the story it is all about, so please read through. I've told you the story how this little boy helped this man to flee himself and get some food. So it's always good to help people, no matter what they are, what position they are. If you are able to help someone out, please do help someone out, and make sure that you don't get into trouble. Read the lesson, try to solve the question answers. This part is your job, appreciation part, and do the A, B, C, D, 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever is there. And after that, I'm always there to help you out. You have to first attempt it, please. I'll not do anything for you. Don't expect me doing anything for you from beforehand, and you sit at home and you just enjoy copying things and doing it. So work hard. You are in class 6 and you do have to work. Okay, guys. So see you in the next video. Bye bye.